I would like to speak about Gezi Park event in Turkey. The protests at Gezi Park were a spontaneous manifestation of discontent with the government's domestic and foreign policies. The population staged a civic uprising to say that enough is enough. The demonstrators gathered of their own will and initiative and had no connection to any foreign influence. This is an organic movement initiated by environmentalists and picked up by the masses that are fed up with the constant impositions of the ruling party AKP government. The young generation of Turkey inaugurated at Gezi Park a new era of hope and inspiration for the future of Turkish democracy, for fundamental rights and freedoms, and for the dignity of every individual human being. As a member of Republican People's Party, CHP, which is the main opposition party, I share their demands and vision for better Turkey. My party has no control over the demonstrators. There are certainly members of our movement who demonstrate in their capacity as private citizens, as I did myself, but not to our knowledge, nor under the CHP banner. The same applies to other parties too. Many protesters have no party affiliation but are associated with organizations with professional and intellectual affinities, such as unions, trade associations, universities. It's a movement which brings together the youngest and the oldest at the same square, which we can call it's a movement over the generations. It's a movement which brings together women and men shoulder to shoulder, so we can call it's a movement over gender issues. It's a movement which brings together the poorest and the richest, so we can call it's a movement over an economical classes. It is a movement which brings together atheists and the religious at the same frame, so we can call it's a movement over religions. It's a movement which brings together marginal and classical characters next to each other, so we can call it's a movement over human characters. It's a movement which brings together all citizens, from the one on the street and the celebrity, hand to hand, so we can call it's a movement has no arrogance. It's a movement which brings together all party and association members, from nationalists to communists, from rightists to leftists, on the streets, so we can call it's a movement over ideologies. It's a movement which brings together Fenerbahçe, Galatasaray, and Beşiktaş fans, so we can call it's a movement over competitions. There were demonstrators praying, while others building human circle around them to provide a peaceful and safe area until their prayers were over. This example alone is a testimony to the heterogeneity of the demonstrating crowds. So, Occupy Gezi Park movement is a cry for freedom and liberties by the people, regardless of their political denominations. Government violence started when? On the first morning of the demonstrations, police ambushed the peaceful demonstrators in their sleep, 5 a.m. in the morning, while they were asleep in their tents with tear gas and water cannons. According to police data, 4 demonstrators and 1 police officer lost their lives. 11 people lost one of their eyes by shot of a tear gas capsule. Countless of people were heavily injured and thousands of people poisoned by the gas used. More than 200,000 tear gas capsules were fired and more than 3,000 tons of water used by water cannons. Recent survey by Conda company revealed that the reason of the demonstrators to participate is as follows: 34% for freedoms, 18% for demanding rights, 9.5% against dictatorship and oppression, 8% for democracy. Gezi Park is a symbol of a new political dynamic in our country, which says to the ruling party, either you change and respect democracy and human rights, or we will continue. But the government uses repressive totalitarian methods. If they do so and take wrong steps, I'm afraid that everyone in our country will pay a high price. I'm very concerned, and I believe we should do everything to restore calm, while at the same time on the Turkish government to act in consonance with democratic norms of behavior in a state of law. However, the Turkish model imposed by this government is not viable. We repeatedly stress that Turkey is indeed a model for the region with the democracy and secular state. Through Occupy Gezi, the people of Turkey have shown their devotion to Atatürk's ideology and revolutions made and their desire for a truly democratic and pluralistic state. I once again salute all the peaceful demonstrators across the country. I hope to meet you all next time in Turkey, where free speech, human rights and freedom is secured unconditionally for all citizens. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.